How to commit tax fraud in Unity. This should be pretty interesting. So first off, guys, I just want to thank each and every single one of you for all the love and support over this last year. It's been really great experience. We went from like 20 subscribers to 1,000. And I'm recording this a little bit after we hit 1,000, just because I've been so busy with uni work and just a bunch of other stuff, especially in the holiday season. So I just want to say I hope you guys all had a great Christmas and a great New Year. Let's make next year even bigger, even better. Who knows, we might even hit 2K. That said, as you can probably see from the title, we're doing a Q&A special. So I asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions on the Discord as well as on a few YouTube posts. So I'm going to answer every single question today. I just want to say, if you guys hear a bunch of birds, it's because I've got my window open. It is absolutely a scorcher in my room at the moment. So that said, let's get on with the questions. The Splash asks, what is your goal in life? Splash is one of the moderators on the server. If you haven't join by the way. It's free. I don't know, to be honest. I think I am kind of living each day as their own. I do have, there is a bigger picture where I'm reaching towards. So one of the big things I want to do is start my own either game or software studio. I don't actually know which one. Maybe both. You know, how do I become a very cool programmer like you? Lots of practice. I've been programming since for almost 7-8 years, maybe more. But yeah, no, I programmed pretty much all day, every day in high school, and it wasn't healthy, but you know, it got us to where we were now. It is really much just practice and hard work. There's not, you can't cheat programming. You either know it or you don't know it. You know, the more you make, the more you learn as well. So I would recommend not relying 100% on my tutorials or just code you copy off Google. It's important. Well, if you do follow it, it's important that you actually learn and you're not just copying it for the sake of copying it. You know, it's always good to build a project while you're learning, but if you're not learning and you're just building projects, then you're not really a programmer. You're just a copier. How do I be you? Skills, bro. What's your favorite thing to do outside of YouTube and programming? I think the biggest thing is probably music. I also do a bit of mixed martial arts on the side, but I mainly play guitar and saxophone. So I play alto saxophone, but moving on to tenor saxophone now as well. But yeah, that's probably, if you've seen my other channel, it's a sad channel at the moment, but if you've seen that one, then you know I like to do music. And if you've seen my Instagram as well, you've probably seen a few of my videos there as well. Cow eggs / canned bread / crocodile milk. This is a thing. It's basically bread that is canned, but unlike usual where you buy it in loaves, canned bread can last longer than the ones you buy in. Really? Okay. So do cows lay eggs? According to 10% of school children. That's amazing. There you know, we're also a education channel. How did you start game developing? I started, I think I was probably in year 5 or 6 when we had a substitute teacher who came in, and it was just randomly took us to a computer lab in like our computer technology lessons back in the day. Gotta remember as well, back then these lessons were amazing because computers were still, they weren't brand new, but they weren't as good as, you know, like iPhones weren't around until I was probably in around year 5 or 6 or year 3 or 4. So you know, it was, technology was still quite new. Like we were using blackboards about that age. Like smart boards weren't a thing. But yeah, so when he took us and we started learning like Scratch, it was quite, you know, impressive to me. I'm like, wow, I love playing games. Now I can make my own games. So no, it was quite cool. And yeah, so it started from there. I went home, downloaded Scratch, and just made a bunch of crap games until I actually learned how to make a game properly. Are you currently working in a studio job? I am working a few jobs. So I do a bunch of freelance work as well as, you know, part-time work, casual work. I won't, you know, disclose where I work, just a bit, you know. Is game dev hard? It can be hard. You know, it depends obviously on the type of game you're making, on the scale and scope of it. But I'd say the hardest thing about game dev is probably staying motivated to finish your project. I mean, I guess that's all programming in general, but that's the main thing I'd reckon. Because it's so easy to just lose motivation in a game you're working on or a project and just give up. And I'd say that's the hardest part. So, you know, it can be hard. It depends on the person, of course. When did you start programming? So like I mentioned, probably year 5 or 6. I think that's so year 5 or 6. That's in Australia. I think I don't know what actually grade that is, but I think it's age. Is it 8, 9, or 10? Look, I could be completely wrong. What's your dream job? Probably working for myself, to be honest. I don't like the idea of going to work for someone else. If I was, I'd want a a higher up position probably than to just be a low end programmer. It's important to build a name for yourself, and that's kind of what YouTube has done for me. So really grateful for that. How many projects have you made? So if we're talking finished projects, well, let's say unfinished projects. So let's round it up. Let's say 300 to 400 projects. That's the math off the top of my head. As you can tell, I'm not a very good mathematician. But in terms of finished projects, I've probably only finished like 3, 4, maybe even 2 to 3. It's quite sad. With me, I don't release a project unless I know it's good. Or at least until I know, like, yes, this is something I want to release. This is something I'm proud of. Because otherwise it's just not going to do well regardless. If I don't believe in it, why would anyone else? What's your favorite thing about Unity? I think that my favorite thing about Unity is just the amount of resources that there is online, because you can type anything into Google about Unity and you'll have something to show up. What's your least favorite thing about Unity? My least favorite thing is probably the amount of bugs. I'd say just with it. Well, they're not really bugs. It's just about it's a few imperfections, I guess, in the engine. For example, I think a lot of people have faced that now, where it's it says busy for and it goes into like 40 minutes or something. It just says busy after you click play. No one, I don't know why it happens. I don't know if that's my fault. It could be, but it seems to happen to everyone. And Unity's addressed this. Actually, I sent them a tweet, and they addressed this as a issue, but they haven't fixed it. But like a lot of these problems as well, you got to remember Unity is a massive engine. So fixing a problem like that, it's not as simple as just being like remove message box. It's just like I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons as to why it pops up and why they can't get rid of it. Who's your favorite member on the server? Myself. No. How do you stay motivated to continue to work on projects? There we go. I was waiting for this question. Personally, I don't. I'm gonna put that straight out there. I don't. Like, I lose motivation very quickly. And again, I have so many unfinished projects and projects which I'll probably never come back to either. Yeah, it's hard to stay motivated. The one thing that I've kind of done to help is move on. So if I'm developing the character controller, then I take a break from that, move on to a different part of the project. It just keeps things interesting, because the character controller compared to, let's say, world generation is completely different. So it's good to take that sort of break. And that's what I did with the 2D Sandbox series as well. In the middle we did inventory, in the middle we did the character controller, and it was just a pause between the devlog, between the terrain. And I did the same for the devlog with the character controller as well. I took a break on that, moved on to the world generation a little bit. Just gotta shake things up and keep things interesting for yourself. If you could choose to work in any studio in the world, what will you choose? It's a good question. I think probably would have to be some of these bigger AAA companies, but then you hear so many like drama and like problems coming out, like the Blizzard thing. I think there was something with Activision as well, but it's just sometimes these big companies as well, you just get lost in the rubble. So I think if you could work anywhere, I'd probably, I'd actually love to work inside Unity, like actually Unity. I think it would be really cool to work with them, or for them. I don't know. Can you drive? I unfortunately cannot drive. My eyes and their medical condition stops me from driving. But yeah, that's a story for another day. Who's your favorite YouTuber besides Binary Bunny? So, that's good way to plug yourself. So Binary Bunny is a good friend of mine who I met through YouTube. But besides him, I'd say I watch Sidemen and KSI quite a lot. They're quite entertaining as well. So yeah, either of them. And subscribe to Binary Bunny as well. When is my shout out coming? Shout out to Tien Sousa. This was a while ago. We made a bet and he was like, oh, if I can get to like the leaderboard in some Minecraft server or something it was, will you give me a shout out? I'm like, all right, bet, go for it. And then he did it and his shout out never came. Basically I scammed him. No. I was planning to do a shout out in the next tutorial video, except We haven't had a tutorial video for a while, so you know what, have a shout out now in my 1K special. Congrats, my man. Do you use any other languages besides C# or any other engines besides Unity? I've messed with Unreal a little bit. I think I prefer Unity still. It's just a little bit easier, and I mean, I guess it's because I just have more experience in Unity. Apart from other languages, I use a bunch of languages. So I know Java, JavaScript. I used Visual Basic for a while. It's kind of dead now. You obviously got the markup languages, HTML, XAML, FXML, C#, obviously. I messed a little bit with C++. I didn't really like it. Python, I've done a bunch of stuff with as well. What's your goal with YouTube and just programming? I think with programming, it's to be able to start my own studio or company or something, as well as, you know, sell products, software products, which benefit everyone. You know, they're easy to use as well as actually being useful, because I feel like that's some of the problems we have with apps nowadays. They're either really, really useful, but they look good, but they're completely useless. With my goal for YouTube is probably just to hit the next milestone. So I reckon if we can get to 5K, that would be amazing. 10K. I think I'll be settled around 1 million, to be honest. I think that'd be... it's very far-fetched, but I think at that point then I'll be like, alright, cool, I got to where I want. I'll still keep going, obviously. I won't stop. You know, imagine we hit 10 million. That would be insane. But until we beat PewDiePie, that's the goal. How to get good grades? Study hard. At least if you study, you can't say I should study harder because you've studied as hard as you possibly could. How do I not be introvert? Basically, I think confidence is the biggest thing. I used to consider myself as an introvert, but now I kind of see myself more as an extrovert, funnily enough. I think one of the big things was, you know, having the confidence to just talk to anyone and everyone, because it's the more you talk to people, well, the more confident you are, the more you talk to people. The more you talk to people, the more you learn from them, and the more connections you have. The more connections you have, the more opportunities you have. So it's really important to just have that confidence to make your first impressions and whatnot. Yeah. Thoughts on quantum technology? I think it's quite cool. I don't know much about it. I don't think many people know much about it. If you're an expert in quantum technology, let me know. Fill me in on what's going on. But I think it's quite interesting. I'd love to see where it goes. Do you have a girlfriend? I actually do. I won't reveal too much about it, but yeah. Thoughts on bread? Love bread. Bread's amazing. Do you like pineapple pizza? I'm not. I'm partial to a pineapple pizza. You know, Hawaiian every now and then is alright. If I had the choice, I wouldn't. But you know, if it's put in front of me, I'll eat it. I wouldn't. Thoughts on eating pasta on Tuesday? No. Pasta is strictly a Wednesday thing. How about Thursday? No. When is the next Terraria video? That's a great question. I actually want to do a Terraria video again sometime soon. I love doing the Terraria videos. They're so easy to just record and have fun with. So one of the things I want to do is actually get a lot of you guys involved as well with the Terraria videos. So if we can somehow create like a server, I don't know how it works in Terraria, but what I do actually want to create a Minecraft server as well. So that'll be something I'll work towards in the next few months. Do you play Tmod Loader? I unfortunately don't. I never used it. So will you ever make a video with Splash Productions? Maybe, who knows? I'd love to make videos with a lot of you guys. I think it'll be quite cool to help you guys grow as well as game developers. But yeah, when inevitably reach 1 million subs because you make good videos, will you remember me? I probably will. As I remember a lot of people who stay active in the server. So, you know, I most likely will remember you. What was your thoughts on Bob the Builder? Important question. I like the OG Bob the Builder. The new one, look at this, man. What is that? That is actually terrifying. Why have they done this? The OG, this one. This is the one I grew up with. This is the one I liked. Watch this all the time. But how do you remove the cream from Oreos? I always just lick it off or like use my teeth. Vacuum chamber. Yes. Yes, that is the only way to remove the cream from Oreos. How did you become a game developer? Lots of time, lots of hours, lots of programming, lots of unfinished projects. And you know, like I said, I started 7 years ago. So imagine spending at least 3 hours a day programming games for 7 years, only to release 2 or 3 after 7 years. So, you know, it's important to keep going until you have something that you're actually proud of to show. So, yeah. Could you sometime do a guitar cover of a song? Possibly one of JoJo Bizarre Adventure I recommend. You know what? It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure actually has some pretty nice music from what I've heard. So there's a few there from that I actually wanted to learn on guitar. And, you know, I'd love to do more guitar covers and stuff, which will probably be on my other music channel. So subscribe to that one if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing a lot more covers and stuff there. Also, there will be a few videos on my Instagram, which is now going to be linked below, where you can watch a lot shorter covers and videos from my guitar career. If you turn your headlights on while driving at the speed of light, what happens? Geez, that's actually... Surely the lights just don't turn on, right? Because for them to project, and you're traveling at this, so they can't project, right? They'll appear on, but then they won't actually light any of your surroundings up. If anyone's a scientist, let me know in the comments what happens, because I have no idea. That's actually bamboozled me. If you enjoy wasting time, is that time really wasted? Personally, I reckon this changes from person to person, to be honest. I'd say yes, because, you know, wasted time is wasted time. That's time you could be being productive. But then again, if your goal is to waste time and you're wasting time, then you're achieving your goals at the same time. Thoughts on cold weather? I prefer cold weather over hot weather. You know, in Australia, we go through every season per hour. How to get money tutorial. Get a job. How to commit tax fraud in Unity. This should be pretty interesting. Why haven't you played Minecraft yet? That's actually a good question. I would love to. It's just I don't know how to play Minecraft without making, like, how to make a Minecraft video without making a cringy Minecraft video is my biggest issue at the moment. Same with Terraria, I guess. I mean, Terraria is a bit easier to make videos for because it's not oversaturated as much as Minecraft is, at least. It is something I'd want to do in the future. Most likely, probably it would be a server sort of videos where I'm playing with you guys on servers or doing like server challenges and whatnot. Favorite video game? Probably my favorite video game is probably going to be Skyrim. I think Skyrim was one of the biggest games. Like, it was the first game that I was like really keen for. Apart from that, Minecraft has always been a sort of like fan favorite and a favorite of mine as well. Who are you really? Who the master you show to the rest of the world? I think I am probably quite good at just being myself. You know, I don't get into character to do these videos. I am pretty much the same as in the videos as you would meet me in real life. Girlfriend reveal? Don't think so. I don't think she'd appreciate if I did this. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Wonderful saying, horrible word. What is your dream amount of subscribers? And do you think, I think probably my dream amount, like the amount I'd say I'm like settled with or happy with, probably like I said, 1 million. Do you think I'll reach it? I think eventually it might take a while, probably a very long while. I reckon if, you know, considering we went from like 20 to 1K in the space of like 5 or 6 months, I reckon it is quite possible, very plausible. We'll see. Do a really big community roundup, like all. This is one thing I actually want to do. So I had an idea for a video where I get everyone in the server, at least everyone who wants to participate, to record their own perspectives. You know, voiceover or not, it's up to you. But like record their own perspectives over like a game jam. So it'll be like a weekend game jam. Everyone, including me, participates, records their perspective, and then I get all the footage, add it all together into like this one video, and it's gonna be like this really big game jam video from like everyone's. I don't know. I had an idea like that, and I thought it'd be really cool. Could you please say hey or Puffin? Hey or Puffin. When is Facecam? I don't actually own a Facecam, and I don't think I'll ever do a Facecam video. Setup reveal. Sorry, mate. My setup is quite a mess at the moment. I need to do some cable management, you know, and I'm not going to do a setup reveal at the moment because I know I'm just going to have a bunch of you guys judge me for my setup and messiness of the cables. So once I get a cable rack and do some cable management as well as a bunch of other stuff, I will do a setup review. Have you tried Unreal Blueprints, I guess he means, by BP? I have tried it. I don't, you know, it's all right. One of the things I don't like about it is that it's just very complicated. I prefer typing code rather than drag and like node-based editing. How do you think someone should start off programming? I think obviously each their own. For me, the best method was to look up a bunch of tutorials to just understand, you know, get to learn where things are in Unity, for example, or like learn a few keywords. Because I came from Scratch, so I think Scratch is a good start, but it's quite different to go from Scratch to, you know, actual text-based editing. It's good to copy a bunch of videos just to understand, you know, some of the different keywords and terms. And then what I did was I started to develop my own code or like my own game. So what I'd say is like, all right, I'm making this sort of game, and it'd be much bigger than I would actually be able to finish. Obviously, I knew this. But what I would do, well, I'd start it and then be like, okay, cool. So now I need to make this cube move, right? How can I make a block move? So I type into Google how to make movement in Unity, and I'll learn how to make movement for that game. What that means is that next time I want to do movement, I can use the same sort of code because now I know the fundamentals of movement. Congrats, Party Hat. What inspires you to keep rating? First off, thanks. What inspires you? I think it's probably you guys. It's great to be able to see that you guys are actually learning and enjoying the videos, and that motivates me to keep making content for you guys to enjoy. It's quite rewarding to see when you know, I see your comments and stuff saying like, oh, you know, love your content, blah blah blah. I read every single comment, by the way, and I try to respond to every single one as well. Are you a walrus? I am not a walrus, unfortunately. I'm human. That's all the questions we had for this one. There will probably be more Q&As further down the line in the future. Maybe every single milestone I might do a Q&A special. I will see how it goes. I just want to thank you guys once again for, first of all, sticking till the end of the video, and second of all, for all the love and support again that you've shown the channel and the Discord server and everything in between. I'm going to keep going on the content. You know, 1K subscribers is a great achievement for myself, but I'm nowhere near stopping. So look forward to 2022, guys. A lot more content coming your way. I'm going to try and upload more throughout this year, but we shall see how it goes. Uni is obviously picking up, as well as much of other work and stuff. So, you know, my time that I can devote to videos is dwindling. I'm trying my best. So, yeah. That's it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.